Be in the know with unlimited access to IBJ and Inside Indiana Business. Our in-depth coverage of all things business means you'll always be completely in the know. Subscribe for just $1 a week. Get started now at ibj.com/trial offer.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio on demand for Friday, September 12th, 2025. I'm Gary Dick. In an effort to provide the state with a playbook when considering data center projects, the Indiana Economic Development Corporation is paying another $625,000 to a consulting firm to finish a white paper report on the trend. In total, the IEDC is paying $1.275 million to Massachusetts-based Boston Consulting Group for a study examining economic and incentive structures surrounding data centers. Meantime, as data center proposals continue to surge across the state, Morgan County is next in line for a major investment as an unnamed developer moves ahead with a $1 billion project. Since the start of the year, Morgan County officials have rezoned nearly 400 acres of farmland for light industrial use and approved a series of tax abatements that will see at least $1 billion of investment into a data center campus near Monrovia. That's about 25 miles southwest of downtown Indianapolis. The Northwest Indiana Regional Development Authority has approved the creation of a nonprofit subsidiary designed to boost development and private sector investment in the region. The land development entity is designed to accelerate redevelopment by assisting with assembling, acquiring, and stabilizing challenging properties, working in partnership with local municipalities. From the state's #1 source for Indiana business news, you're listening to Inside Indiana Business Radio. East Central Indiana is on the move, and the next big conversation is happening in Muncie. Join us for Innovate East Central Indiana at Ball State University, September 17th. A powerful afternoon of ideas, innovation, and insight, part of the Innovate Indiana series, presented by Indiana University and Old National Bank. We're talking talent, technology, and transformation, and what's next for the region. RSVP now at ibj.com/innovate. Around 1/3 of the 186,000 middle schoolers tested in Indiana in the 2024-25 school year did not read at grade level, that according to data from the Department of Education.
To improve reading proficiency for 6th through 8th graders, the department will seek outside contractors to work with middle schools on reading interventions as part of a pilot program. The data follows this summer's state testing scores, which showed that English language arts proficiency declined for middle schools, even as younger students improved in ELA and reading. To begin addressing the issue, the state wants to bring in vendors for outcomes-based contracting, or a contract in which they would be paid for improving literacy in grades 6 through 8. Indiana Secretary of Education Katie Jenner said the state is seeking philanthropic donations to supplement state funding for the pilot program, which middle schools would be able to opt into. Middle schoolers' reading proficiency data was collected as part of the state's iLearn Checkpoint pilot, which broke the state test into sections throughout the year for schools that chose to participate. By the second checkpoint in the last school year, 42% of students in grades 6 through 8 were not reading at grade level as measured by their Lexile scores, which are calculated based on the student's reading ability and the difficulty of a text. By the end-of-year summative test, around 31% still did not read at grade level. One caveat, the middle school numbers represent only around 75% of schools in Indiana and will likely change after this year when all schools are required to administer the iLearn in sections. Alex Brown, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
A new study from DePauw University shows the university generated more than $78 million in economic impact for Putnam County during the 2023-24 fiscal year. The report, conducted in partnership with Idaho-based Lightcast, says the university supports 1 out of every 17 jobs in the county and represents 5.4% of the county's total economic output. This is Gary Dick for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.
What happens when a basketball superstar changes the course of an entire city? I'm Mickey Shuey, and in Beyond Clarkonomics, we tell the story of how Caitlin Clark's arrival to the Indiana Fever sparked more than just sold-out arenas. It's rewriting Indianapolis's long-term strategy for sports, downtown growth, and women's leadership. Listen at ibjpodcast.com or on your favorite podcast app.
Your commute just got smarter.
Turn drive time into growth time. The IBJ Media Podcast Network gives you front row access to leaders shaping Indiana's economy, culture, and future. No filler, just smart, relevant, local storytelling you won't get anywhere else. Find all of our shows by searching IBJ Media in your podcast app or visit ibjpodcasts.com.